Okay, get your coffee, your tea, your water, your kombucha, whatever they call it, and get ready because this is big. Something really big is happening. This might be so different than anything you've heard. And this is thanks to a subscriber who brought something to my attention, a conversation between a paranormal investigator and spirit regarding what's going on out there. And I want to share with you what really is going on out there. Now, if you're not participating in this big movement, this event that's happening right now, you can. This is so exciting. So get ready for something very different, very exciting, very transformational. You're going to love it. I'll see you there. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Boy, do I have something really exciting. Now, I have to refer to a video that I just did, and that is the spirit answer to the alien. I called it the alien agenda. It's actually just a question about aliens. A paranormal investigator asked spirit questions, and the subscriber was asking me, why didn't spirit answer this one particular question? And it went something like this: is there God? Yes. Are there other universes? Many. Are there aliens? Yes. Are they evil? And spirit wouldn't answer. And then they'd go on to other questions and they would answer them. Then they came back to, are aliens evil? And there was no answer. And so the subscriber asked me, why wouldn't they answer it? And this is the big movement that's happening. Our definitions as human beings are completely changing and transforming. The reason why spirit wouldn't answer that question, and if you saw the video, you'll know this, is because our definition as human beings of evil is something that must be eliminated. It's wrong and it serves no good purpose. If they had said, yes, they're evil, by human definitions, that would be a frightening, fearful answer, because we would see that word as something totally different and destructive and wrong. Evil is just a lower frequency, and in the universes, the multiverses, it's not on this level of destruction that it is here on the planet. It has purpose, and it serves as contrast, and there are those that explore it, explore darkness. Everything is one thing. The one source doesn't make a mistake. But humans act that way. They act as though everything that isn't on the high frequency is a mistake. And the judgment of that is a low frequency also, and we don't even see it. We're so dense most of the time that we don't even see our judgment of that is on a low, even a lower frequency than the acts that are being perpetuated. Now here's the exciting big event that's happening. Our definitions are changing. We are going through a huge movement where everything we've thought and believed, and I'm not talking about everybody, I'm talking about those who are choosing to go into transformation, into the new earth, the great awakening, are going into what I call the big event, the tipping point. Everything that you thought, right down to a word, is now becoming completely redefined. Those in the highest frequencies, those that are going into awakened states, are now questioning everything, including the word evil, good, bad, wrong, right, are now seeing those words, because everything's an energy. This is the coolest part. Everything's an energy. So instead of a word, the thought of that word creates a frequency and an energy that is connected to everything. Every thought you have is transforming into something in this one collective, especially within our matrix. We're in a holographic little program here. We've all decided to come to planet Earth and play out this program of being humans. So within this matrix, we are placing our thoughts, our frequencies in just by a word, just by a thought, just by a judgment. And then the word itself is even more powerful, right? Because you're translating that thought into a word. And then that frequency has even more power, right? And then the action behind it. Because if you're thinking and you're speaking, you're going to be acting in those beliefs, right? Oh, wealthy people are evil. It's wrong to be wealthy. I hear that all the time. Where does that come from? We're now looking and realizing, oh my gosh, it's all been programming by dense human beings for centuries who have had dense agendas and egos driving them and self-service. Why would I believe any of that? Why would any statement or word be defined on a lower frequency? Because that is the old world that we're transforming from. And so now we can look at every single word, every belief, and take it into the tipping point, the big event of transformation. There's no such thing as evil being wrong. Some of you will be so uncomfortable with that. So maybe you want to join me into a new big event where you realize the one doesn't make mistakes. It is everything. It is the very person or event or situation that appears to be evil, so that it can learn and know, contrast, experience the opposite of the total oneness that it is, that if it stays in that, will never know the true being of itself, because we cannot know joy and friendship until we've been alone. And then you know loneliness, and then you understand the value of community and being with other people. How do you know true love until you've lost something? Right? How do you know real wealth or appreciate it until you've lost it? And we can no longer, if we want to go into the golden era, use the definitions of the old world. So there's no right nor wrong, because the wrongs are what create the goodness and the opportunities for us to go into something so amazing. Because the biggest achievement that we can accomplish here is to go from that darkness into light, not knowing what we are. That's huge. And that is the human experience. That is the off-the-charts amazing experience here on planet Earth that you signed up for. What if I forgot that I'm powerful, that I already possess all of this, that I'm already perfect and unconditionally loved, that we're all just one beautiful family, but that we're going to experience separation from one another and know what it's like to hate or be angry, to be frustrated, to have anxiety or depression because you think there's nothing else. What's that like? The one is experiencing it, and now we are understanding that. And so now my students, and if you guys have signed up for Manifest Anything, I'm still doing my 14, 15 videos training in there for free. I suggest you go in. I take you into your power. We break through fear. And then we activate our magic. Activate Your Magic's coming out. What is that? Advanced Manifesting. That's coming out 2022. Why? Because I think you're ready for it. What is this tipping point? If you are not experiencing this transformation of redefining our whole vocabulary, then you can join me today. And how do you do this? Every word or thought that you know has a low frequency, and we know it, even criticism, even if I'm right and I'm going to criticize them, you know it's a lower frequency. It doesn't feel harmonious. You can then at that moment, you have to be in the now to do this. At that moment, you take that word or that thought and you transform it. And you understand that it is, number one, I've had students tell me that they actually get excited when a challenge shows up because they realize, oh, I get to go to the next level. And because of this challenge, now I get to perform in my best possible way. And then I will progress. And then the challenge goes away. Most of us stay in the challenge and the challenge and the challenge. I'm always broke. I always have bad relationships. I always, have nasty bosses. I'm always sick. Right? It's self-created for your own evolution. Right? You have the ability to do that. It's part of your agreement of what you're going to experience here. So if you don't master that and you stay in it, because you're in density and you think everything's separate and you don't have your power, you don't come out of it. You don't master it. My students understand they've redefined the human vocabulary. And now a word is not a problem. It's not opposition or separation. It's a master teaching. It's a master situation wherein I can transform. And even if the other party does not change through this, they are. If you go to the highest frequency, you directly affect them. And everything else in the universe, multiverses. We're going to talk more about that. Are you part of the big event? It's huge, 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 huge. I'm seeing people that are asking themselves, what is that thought? Now I'm going to give you an example. So I had two people out of millions, actually, because I have almost like 18 million viewers, and over 100,000 subscribers. Only two people wanted me to stop saying "shut your pie hole," and I literally get dozens and dozens of people that write me or make comments of how funny they think that is, and that makes them laugh, which is my intention. Now I want to ask you, because this is it, all of us do this as human beings. We take our past experiences and we label our present and our future based on those. So this person had a teacher who said that to them disrespectfully. I guess they meant it that way. I don't know. Maybe the student didn't even understand it. Maybe the teacher was joking. I don't know. But let's assume that the person is right and the teacher meant it in a negative way. Now, every time that person hears that word, it triggers negativity. So she believed, every time I said it, that was the energy field in that phrase. Shut your pie hole meant something very nasty or disrespectful, like shut up versus be quiet now, or something cute or funny, which is, again, as you know, my intentions, to get you to laugh once in a while. Awakening doesn't have to be so serious. So she's hung on to that energy field. Well, transformation allows us to take what we felt and believed that was part of another person or a situation or event, and to transform it. So what we do is, if we had a situation with, let's say, a certain religion or a certain culture or whatever, and it was negative, then we will, next time we run into somebody that is that religion or culture, automatically have a dislike or some kind of anxiety or prejudice because of an experience with maybe one person or maybe even a few. We do this, and we continually create separation. No matter what that person's like, we're allowing the triggers to keep going, right? Those triggers. So what are you going to do with that trigger? You have to redefine it. You have to go into the big event of saying, shut your pie hole can mean something completely different, especially if I look at the source. is the source and the intention of that statement from that person meant to be happy? Guess what? I now have an opportunity to laugh at that statement instead of trying to make the person not say it. I want you to change because I'm still going to hang on to this negative phrase. It's powerful stuff, isn't it? We all do it. What are you doing in your life with a person, a situation, a culture, anything, rich people or whatever? You already have this energy field in there, and you can blast it out and redefine it and see the opportunity in it for you to come in with compassion or understand that not all is one size fits all. This is the big event. It goes that far where every single word that used to be a trigger, that I think a certain way about, that is used a certain way, is just a word. It's the meaning and the thought behind it that determines what it is. I can sit and say thousands of words to you, and every person will have different reactions depending on the energy fields connected to those words based on their past experience and what they've been told, right? We've been programmed. What are you going to do? Join me in the big event. Transform absolutely everything and know that no one thing is defined. I get to define it. And through that, I place my energy field in there. And the one source never makes a mistake. Everything's intelligent. There's no chaos. The chaos is intelligently organized also. So when I look at this situation or the word or the person, what can I do to either let it go? This is the biggest one, letting go. I can let it go. I can also redefine it and say, what is that? But here's the best part. Let's use shut your pie hole as the example. It's an opportunity for that person to realize how long they've hung on to the negative energy from that phrase, and that has been with them. And this is an opportunity to realize that that phrase was just an energy field, and the phrase itself can be redefined, and that the intentions of that teacher is that teacher's intentions, and that's it. It doesn't apply to anything else. But the energy field got created by going into that space and bringing it with you, right? By not letting it go and realizing that was one situation and then knowing. The teaching here is for me to just let that go and not carry the negative energy. Is it time for you to let go of the negative energies that you're carrying around? It's a heavy burden. This is how people get sick. Serious illnesses come from this stuff. This is amazing stuff, isn't it? I'm seeing a huge movement. I'm seeing people that no longer are defining themselves at all the way we used to. Not being affected by the old stuff, letting the energy fields go of the past and realizing I create right now. And my intentions and what I feel and believe and my actions all create beautiful energy. And that if somebody else does something, it stays right there. Of course, that energy field, of course, we all share that. But it doesn't have to permeate my energy field in a negative way. And this is why so many people are, let's just say, distancing themselves from friends, right? So if you can look at that and realize that we're going to a space where those people who are still hanging on to that are the most hurt and damaged. They feel that they need to protect something that doesn't really exist because we're eternal. So don't blame them. Understand that they're in that space where they don't know their own power. They use the power in the material world, but that we know it's not going to last very long. It's a nanosecond in the infinite universe. And so somebody said, why aren't they getting their karma? Why would you want that for them? Yes, of course, we all have our karma. It's being worked out right now. You don't have to keep coming back anymore. You can actually obliterate it now because this is the final stage. This is the 5th time planet has been regenerated. Free Manifest Anything. I hope you'll come over and take one of my courses. You got to practice. You just got to dedicate and invest in yourself. Get rid of the rules of what's right and wrong, and I should do this and you should do this, and we'll do what we please. And if it's of benefit to you, wonderful. Accept it and say yes, because you are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Exciting stuff, isn't it? Blessings to you, my friend. Oops, I hope I don't spill my coffee here. Namaste.